The latest is GBNews reporter Amelia Harper. Hi Amelia, what's happening down at the petrol stations?
Well, it's day two of long queues as a result of a perceived panic buying, as a result of perceived fuel shortages. If I have a look behind me, the forecourt has cleared a little bit just now because a woman was shouting out, "There's no more diesel." So quite a few cars have just cleared just now. But if I look around me, just over here to the left of my shoulder, there are probably around 15 or so cars that are queuing in just out of shot, and then right across the back past the petrol station and back onto the main road, there are probably about 30 cars there queuing to try to get in. The reason for this really is because there's a shortage of HGV drivers, which has as a result disrupted fuel deliveries to petrol stations. There have been places like SOBP and Tesco have reported having to close some of their stations due to this, and obviously then queues have started to back up as a result of that. This has then led to panic buying and to then what you can see behind me. There's generally been quite a feeling of frustration here. Normally people are quite British about queuing and they don't tend to talk to each other, but there has been people here coming out of their cars. Just now there's a chap coming out of his car talking to someone there about the situation and about the fuel. Can they get fuel? They're talking to people in the lines about this. Asda petrol stations have had to introduce a £30 cap on fuel in order to make sure there's enough to go round. But what is being done about this? Well, the government this weekend is expected to set out temporary changes to visas to make it easier for foreign lorry drivers to come and work in the UK. No decision has been made on that yet, but ministers met for urgent talks last night amid the crisis, the shortage of around 90,000 HGV drivers. They say any changes, or it's expected that any changes to these immigration rules would be only for a very temporary period, aimed at just purely plugging that shortage of drivers. Downing Street hasn't made any firm decisions as of just now, but Transport Secretary Grant Shapps says he would move heaven and earth to get the situation sorted. And this picture behind me is something that we've been seeing across the country. Either forecourts have been closed because of that fuel disruption, or we've got drivers backing up behind me. I was here late last night and this was the situation as well, and people who've been passing me by this morning here have said this has been like this since the early hours of this morning too, so it's clearly not something that's going away. Downing Street though does say that there are no fuel shortages. They say there are ample fuel stocks and that there are no shortages. Now, the Confederation of British Industry is demanding a COBRA emergency level type response to the HGV driver shortage situation, and they are warning that we could see real disruption in the next 10 days to the Christmas preparations if this shortfall isn't plugged.